At 21, she believed love was something simple, something gentle, something that arrived quietly and stayed forever. She had grown up watching her father laugh with one man more than anyone else, a man who visited their house without knocking, who brought expensive wine yet spoke humbly, who listened more than he spoke. To her, he was just Uncle Victor, her father's best friend since youth, a man with calm eyes and a voice that carried authority without ever raising volume. She never noticed how rooms shifted when he entered, how strangers lowered their gaze, or how her father deferred to him in subtle ways. To her, he was safety, familiarity, a presence that felt strangely grounding. And she had no idea that this man, who once helped her fix a broken bicycle, ruled an empire built on fear, loyalty, and blood. The feelings began quietly, dangerously quiet. A glance held a second too long. A conversation that lingered after others left. She told herself it was nothing, just admiration, just gratitude. After all, he was older, wiser, and completely forbidden. Yet her heart refused logic. When Victor spoke, she listened as if the world faded around him. When he smiled, rare and restrained, it felt like a secret meant only for her. She didn't understand why her chest tightened whenever he was near, or why his absence felt heavier than it should. Love crept into her life not like a storm, but like a shadow, slow, silent, and impossible to escape once noticed. Victor noticed too. He noticed everything. The way her voice softened around him. The way she looked at him when she thought no one was watching. And it terrified him. He had buried his heart years ago, alongside men who betrayed him and enemies who underestimated him. He had built walls thicker than steel, because vulnerability was death in his world. She was his best friend's daughter. She was innocence. She was everything his life was not. He told himself to stay away, to be distant, to let time erase whatever spark had ignited. But control over an empire did not prepare him for losing control over his own heart. The night everything changed was supposed to be ordinary. Her father was away on business. A storm trapped them inside the house. The power went out, plunging rooms into darkness broken only by candlelight. They talked, really talked, for the first time. About dreams, regrets, fears never spoken aloud. She saw something crack in him that night, something human beneath the legend. And when she confessed, her voice trembling but honest, that she was in love with him, the world seemed to hold its breath. Victor didn't touch her. He didn't kiss her. He simply closed his eyes, as if bracing for a war he knew he could not win. He told her the truth, or at least part of it. He told her he was dangerous. That loving him would cost her everything. That men like him didn't get happy endings. She laughed softly, mistaking warning for humility, mistaking restraint for fear of age or judgment. She told him she didn't care about rumors or secrets. She told him love wasn't logical. Victor had heard men beg for mercy before. None of it shook him the way her words did. Because she was willing to risk everything, while he knew exactly what everything truly meant. Their relationship became a fragile secret, hidden in stolen moments and unspoken rules. No public affection, no careless words, no promises. Yet the bond deepened dangerously fast. She saw his tenderness in private, the way he listened, the way he protected her without smothering. He saw her strength, her intelligence, her refusal to be intimidated. For the first time in decades, Victor imagined a different life, one without guns or codes or blood debts. But fantasies were luxuries men like him paid for with their lives. The truth revealed itself brutally. She overheard a phone call not meant for her ears. Names spoken in whispers. Orders given with finality. Fear in another man's voice when Victor spoke. She followed him once, curiosity outweighing caution, and saw what no one outside the circle ever saw. Armed men, absolute loyalty, fear woven into respect. The realization shattered her illusion. The man she loved wasn't just powerful. He was a mafia boss. Not a rumor. Not a metaphor. A king in a violent world. And suddenly every warning made sense. When she confronted him, there were no lies left. Victor confirmed everything. He didn't justify it. He didn't romanticize it. He told her what his world truly was, how loyalty was enforced, how betrayal was punished, how power demanded constant violence. He expected her to run. He hoped she would. Instead, she cried, not from fear, but from grief. Grief for the man who believed he was unworthy of love. Grief for a world that shaped him into something terrifying yet deeply wounded. Her father found out soon after. The betrayal cut deeper than any knife. Rage, disbelief, heartbreak, all collided. He accused Victor of manipulation, of corruption, of stealing his daughter's future. Victor didn't defend himself. He accepted every word, because some part of him believed them all to be true. He promised to disappear from her life if that's what it took to protect her. She watched two men she loved stand on opposite sides of a line drawn by blood and loyalty. The choice tore her apart. Leave the man she loved to live a safe, empty life, or stay and risk everything. Victor made the decision for her. He vanished. No goodbye. No explanation. Just silence. Days turned into weeks. Weeks into months. Her heart broke quietly, completely. She tried to move on, but love like that doesn't fade, it scars. She thought she'd lost him forever, unaware that from the shadows, Victor was dismantling his own empire piece by piece, removing threats that could ever reach her. Years later, they met again by chance, or fate. She was no longer the same girl. Stronger, sharper, less innocent. Victor was different too. Older, scarred, but lighter, as if a weight had been lifted. He told her he had stepped away from power, burned bridges, handed crowns to men who craved them more. He told her he finally understood that power meant nothing if it cost the only person who made him feel human. She asked him one question: was I worth it? Victor answered without hesitation, yes, always. In that moment, the past loosened its grip. They knew the future wouldn't be simple. His sins didn't vanish. Her father's wounds wouldn't heal overnight. But love had survived truth, distance, and fear. And that meant something. Their love was no fairy tale. It was built on consequences, sacrifice, and honesty stripped bare. Yet it was real. And sometimes, real love isn't about perfection, it's about choosing each other despite the darkness. She fell in love at 21, unaware of the empire behind his eyes. But she grew into that love with courage, understanding exactly who he was, and choosing him anyway. And Victor, the man who ruled through fear, learned that the greatest power he ever held was the ability to walk away, for love.